It is my great pleasure and a privilege today to introduce to you our guest, Mr. Alen Mattich. He was born in Zagreb, Croatia, and grew up in Libya, Italy, Canada, and the United States. He now lives in London, England. As a financial journalist and columnist, he writes for Dow Jones and Wall Street Journal. But today, Mr. Mattich is in studio with us to talk about his newly published novel, Zagreb Cowboy. So, Mr. Mattich, welcome.
Thank you.
I should say welcome back to Canada. You're no stranger to this country.
Nope. I grew up here. I went to primary school here, and then we moved to the States, and then I came back and came to university here as well before moving to London as a postgraduate.
So you now write for financial publications. How did you get inspired to write fiction?
I have friends who are novelists and who are poets and writers, and I've been promising them for 20 years to write an airport novel. And finally, a couple of years ago, I had the inspiration. I had a bit of time free, and I thought, if I don't do it now, I'll never write my novel, and it came out.
And how did you come upon the idea of Zagreb Cowboy?
Well, my intention had been to write about, like everybody else does, to write about the KGB. So a spy novel set in Russia, and then I started writing it. And I thought, well, actually, I don't know very much, or certainly not any more than anybody else does about Russia or the KGB. Nothing more than I read. At around the same time, I went to Zagreb. It was in January. I took my daughter to see my parents. It was winter, foggy. It was very atmospheric, and I thought, well, nobody's written about former Yugoslavia, not sort of in fictional context, or not very much, and certainly not about the secret police. I mean, it's a fantastic, redolent subject, and nobody's touched it. So I thought, why don't I do it? This is something that I know a little bit more about than I do about the KGB, and is a little bit more interesting.
So did you do any research, because you've certainly captured the mood of that time, I guess, when Yugoslavia was crumbling, and the desperation certainly of our main hero here, Marko Della Torre.
I did go to Zagreb in the early 90s several times to visit family. My sister worked for the U.S. government and the UN in Zagreb and Sarajevo during the war as well, so I knew some of the stuff that was happening, and I had a little bit of the peripheral experience. I had no direct experience of the war, but I certainly had a feeling for it, and I've been to Zagreb many times. I mean, we still have family there, and so I could put it all together. Some familiarity with the town, familiarity with the circumstances, and of course the UDBA things. It's just what I read like anybody else. I have no inside knowledge, no specialist information.
Well, I think a lot of people can probably relate to that area who have lived through it, and I haven't lived through it, but I certainly was captivated by this. I'm not usually a crime thriller reader, but this was, I couldn't put it down once I started reading. So, but I understand the story doesn't end here.
No, there's it's the first of what ultimately I hope will be a trilogy. The second book is with the editors right now, and that's being put together. So with some luck, it'll be published by next autumn, and then there'll be a third book in this immediate storyline, and then who knows, maybe there'll be more if it's successful.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, congratulations, and we wish you much success.
Thank you very much.
That was Mr. Alen Mattich. He was talking to us about his newly published novel, Zagreb Cowboy, which is now widely available in Canada, in stores and online.